Before we begin, let us start with a prayer to the Guru Principle and pray for grace, because it is grace alone that can help us on the path of healing and resolution. So just close your eyes, take a few moments to watch your breath, and use the ladder of the breath to go within to a place that is quiet, safe and secure. And then let us pray. Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Gurureva Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Sadgurave Namaha. Before we go into the healing process today, I would like to discuss something. Somebody who is in the 9 p.m. batch has posed a question, and the participant says that I'm reading what she has written. We all create karmas, good and not so good, from day to day. Can these karmas be cleared or cleansed? When the karma clearing or cleansing frequencies are played. And there is another part to the question. If they are cleared or cleansed by listening to the frequencies, then does that mean that one does not have to have some retribution for the not so good karmas? So what we refer to as karma is a process of cause and effect. So what is karma? Within our own bodies, God has created the biggest supercomputer. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we do. I mean, we have the pancha jnanendriyas, the indriyas of perception through which we perceive this world. Then we have the five karmendriyas, the organs through which we perform action. We also have five tanmatras, where anything that we perceive, the impression is stored somewhere. And how does all this work? Is that anything that we do or we do not do, in this we are guided by our mind, our intellect, and our ego. There are certain things we do not like, so we would like to avoid them. There are certain things which we come to like, so we'll try to replicate them or repeat them again and again. So this choice that we are making through our likes and dislikes creates something within us which we call sanskars. And these sanskars make us what we are. They create our personality. So under the influence of personality, we are on an autopilot mode. Depending upon what we have done in the past, we do the same thing again and again. We make a choice because we have made a choice, and that choice has been fed into the computer which we have within us. And this computer makes the choices. On the internet, if you search a lot of things, so many people are doing their buying online. So what happens? The companies that manage the internet, they are watching you. They create or they make a note of your choices. So next time you open your computer, the same kind of advertisements, depending upon what kind of surfing you have done or what kind of purchases you have made, the same kind of choices are present. So in the same way, karma is operating. Karma is nothing but the choices made by us. And depending upon those choices, we have been given a personality. And things start unfolding in our lives according to that, the choices we make. Now because we want to please ourselves and there is ego operating, we do certain things which are not part of the natural law. So what is not sanctioned by natural law? If we do, then we have to learn certain lessons. So those lessons are being taught through karmas that keep fructifying. Because we do not have this insight, so all good things that happen in our lives, we never question them. We accept them as they are. In fact, we proudly display them. If we are born in a good family, we have in wealth, life is fine. We say, oh, I deserve all this. We don't try to figure out why these good things have been given to us. But if something is not according to our plan or our desire, so suppose we are presented with challenges in health, challenges in relationships, or any other challenge. Everything is going on all right, and suddenly something very challenging happens. Then we get into a mode where we say, oh my God, fate has been so unkind to me. God does not love me. Why is it that I am being presented with all this? Why do I have to suffer? I have not done anything wrong to anybody in this life. Why am I suffering? So this is how karma operates. Karma takes its own time to fructify. So it may happen that we did something way back many lifetimes ago, and suddenly that fructifies and a particular challenge comes up in our life because the karma has matured. I don't know whether this is correct, but there is a story in the Mahabharata that in the battle of Mahabharata, Dhritarashtra lost 100 sons. Losing one son can be extremely traumatic. But losing 100 sons, you can imagine the trauma the king had. His entire tribe or clan, the family was wiped out. So he asked Lord Krishna, why did I have to lose 100 sons? And the answer that was provided was that, look, some 100 lifetimes ago, you were a bird hunter and you went out into the jungle. There was a huge tree. On which many birds had their nests. And these newborn baby birds who hadn't learned to fly, they were there in those nests. And you went there and you threw a burning net over that tree. The tree caught fire and 100 baby birds were burnt to death. This was very grave karma. In the next 100 lifetimes, you remained pious, you did good work, good deeds, and in each lifetime, you gained the merit to have one son. So in this particular lifetime, all that merit fructified and you were blessed with 100 sons. But in this very lifetime, the karma of burning alive those 100 baby birds also fructified. So all your progeny was taken away from you. So this is how karma operates. Karma is neutral in its approach. Karma says, as you sow, so shall you reap. There are many things. There used to be a kind of a prophetic person, Edgar Cayce. You can Google Edgar Cayce and find out about him. So when people would come before him, pose their problems, he would go into a trance. He had this special ability, and in the trance he would dictate or speak, and notes were taken. And he did some karma readings or life readings for hundreds and hundreds of people. And readings of Edgar Cayce are responsible for bringing the awareness of karma to the West, because karma was an unknown concept in the West. Now there was one person who had come to Edgar Cayce who was facing tremendous challenges in his body. The body was curved and he would have fractures easily, and he was suffering. So he came to Edgar Cayce for a life reading, and Edgar did a reading, and he said, "Look, you were a courtier in the court of Nero." Oh, you all must be knowing, Nero was a very cruel king, and his favorite sport was to put hapless people in some arena and release hungry lions on them. And the lions will devour these people, break their bones, and their flight was being enjoyed. The audience that used to laugh at it. They said, "You were one of the courtiers and you took special joy and you clapped when people were dismembered by the lions, when their bones were being broken." So that karma has fructified, and in this lifetime, you have to understand what it is like to live with bones that are broken and a body that has an unstable structure. Now we can look upon karma as something which is retributive, which is a punishment. But the wise thing is to look upon karma as a lesson. So when we look upon karma as a lesson, the purpose of that fructification of the karma is done immediately. If we have drawn our lesson, existence does not want to punish us. The circumstances change immediately. So what is it that we mean when we say we are doing karma cleansing? So we are using sound frequencies to raise your awareness. When you rise in awareness, then the hold that the karma has on you, that goes away. We are on the ground, so our sight is limited. If we are driving on a road, on the ground, we cannot see, and it is a kind of a hilly track, we cannot see what is coming, what we are going to meet. But if we rise in awareness, that means we start going to the top of the hill, from where the vision is very wide, we can see what is happening. We have a better perception. So because of better perception, we can see what things are going to happen, what is it that we can do to protect ourselves, or what is the lesson that we can learn so that we can move on. Our suffering is not prolonged. So why awareness is important? Why should we rise in awareness? Because if we don't rise in awareness, we will get into the blame game. There is some brought forward karma with a person, And in a family, the favorite example in an Indian context that comes to mind is the Sas Bahu context. So much anger, much misery is being created by one party. As a result, the other party is suffering and holding all the grudges. So when death happens, the soul of the party that has suffered, because it has been holding all the grudge, the soul goes out looking for the person, that other soul that has created the torture. So existence will provide, because that grudge is there and that grudge has to be taken out, existence will provide the chance where these two souls meet again. And that all the pent up anger, emotion is taken out on the other soul. Now the other soul's time will come to respond. So the cycle goes on. So it is a choice that each one of us has. Do we want to live on the ground in the minefield of karma and keep getting trapped by karma again and again and again? On an average, 700 lifetimes are given. So we can choose to suffer and go through the process of being hit by karma and hitting others through our karma for 700 lifetimes, even more. But there is a choice that we can become aware of who we are. And as we rise in awareness, we change. We learn our lessons quickly. So what are we doing here? It's a two-pronged approach. We are using sound frequencies to rise in awareness. So whenever the karma healing frequencies are played or any other frequency is played, what is happening to you is that your body is receiving that and as a result, your energy and vibration is rising. When energy and vibration rises, you rise in awareness. You can see this chart and figure out for yourself how your mental state and your state of consciousness changes when you rise in awareness, when your frequency and vibration rises. We have the option of vibrating at a frequency of say 20 hertz, where shame is there. 30 hertz guilt is there. 50 hertz apathy is there. Grief is there. Fear is there. All these things are happening in the low frequency zone, which is what? Contracted zone. But as we rise in awareness, whether through sound healing, or through kriya, or through meditation, or by understanding, clear understanding. So what happens? We start vibrating at a higher level. So then transformation happens only at frequency of 200. Then courage comes. We begin to take charge of our life. And as we keep rising, neutrality comes, willingness comes, acceptance comes, reason comes, and then love comes, 500. Why do we have so much emphasis on love? Why do we have so much emphasis on thanks, gratitude? Because when we rise in frequency and we reach this particular, if we start vibrating at 500, we will be able to connect to the whole universe. And whether you may think that you are just one limited human being in this body, but fact of the matter is that in this sea of consciousness, all the souls are connected all the time. So there lies the secret of forgiveness. When we say all souls who have hurt us or harmed us, I forgive you. These are not empty words. If you do that forgiveness in your heart, your karma with those souls is getting diluted. Or you are setting them free. The anger, anything that you had against them is going. Then when you say that all souls whom I have hurt or my ancestors have hurt or harmed, I am very sorry. Please forgive me. So if you do this with the heart, the kind of affront or karmic connection you have with those souls, that also starts diluting. But sometimes if the karma is very grave, those souls may not be able to forgive you immediately. It is not like a fast food shop where you just make the payment and have a burger and you're done with it. So forgiveness has to become an attitude for life. Remaining in an attitude of forgiveness means having this thought that all souls whom I have not served well, all souls whom I have hurt or harmed, I stand in forgiveness. Please forgive me. And you do something. Why do we say we want forgiveness? We said we don't want forgiveness because we want to get away from the karma. We want forgiveness so that we can serve. So when we serve others with the recognition that every soul is divine and it is our job to serve, a lot of karma gets washed out immediately. So the question that do we have to suffer? If that understanding is refined, we don't think of suffering. We think of lessons. So if a challenge is arising in our life, what is this challenge going to tell us? So if we understand the lesson, then that challenge will disappear. I don't want to name people, but there is someone who has a challenge with the body. And she took a few successive intensives. And the kind of understanding this she got was that, oh, this is a bodily challenge. It's going to be there. It's not going to go away. But I have the option of focusing my attention. I can remain focused on the challenge, keep focusing on the pain. And I also have the option of just sitting quietly and just looking at everything, and I can go beyond this pain. So even though the pain is there, the suffering element has been taken out of that pain. That is karma cleansing. So you may have to go through what you have to go through, but it can be diluted. And for sure, the element of suffering can be taken out of that. This is why we do karma cleansing, and this is why we are doing forgiveness and sound healing. So am I clear? I think I have taken a lot of time. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. No questions? Then I will move on. I can just tell you one simple story. Because when you hear this, that is also cleansing. If your question disappears about karma, that means a lot of cleansing has happened already. I had the great privilege of knowing personally Sri Soli Tavariya ji. He was one of the greatest masters I had the good fortune of meeting in this life. I do not know what I have done to have had this great benediction in my life that I met him. I was not his student. Whatever he was teaching, I was not doing anything. I still don't do. But somehow he just loved me and he allowed me access to his house. And through personal association, I picked up a lot of things from him. When I met him, I was so much charmed by him. I thought, if love were to appear in form, what would that love be like? And the answer, my heart gave the answer, Soli Bhai, Soli Tavariyaji. He was that kind of person. Every action, every glance, every movement, every word was imbued with love. And we always say, love heals. So anybody whose life was touched by him, that person got healed in many, many miraculous ways. So somebody, a close relative, asked him this question. How do you people help others? And Solibai gave a very interesting answer. He said, look, suppose we have gone out for a picnic and you have had your one or two cans of beer and you are in a high spirit and we come across a tree and you start climbing. I know that you are going to fall and you will suffer a bad sprain and for a few days you will be just limping around. I will tell you that, look, don't climb, it's not good for you. But if you want, and if you still insist, then I will hold your hand. I will not permit you to climb. And then he said that there is a second scenario that I know that you are going to climb, you will fall down, you will have a compound fracture in your leg or arm, some steel rod will have to be inserted, you will be in deep pain, and it will take months for you to get things set right. And still there will be some deformity, you'll never get a 100% movement of the arm or the leg back. I will tell you that it's not good to climb. But if you want to climb, I will not stop you. And then he said that, look, there is this third scenario that I see, I know that you are going to climb, you will fall down, you will hurt your spine, and for the rest of your life you will become paralyzed. You will not be able to stand on your feet and walk because the spine has been damaged. I will not say anything. So then this relative said, "Oh, this is what is the ulta game. When I am going to suffer the most, you will not say anything, and when it is just a matter of limping for a few days, you will just hold my arm and you will not allow me to climb. What kind of a master? What kind of a guru are you? This is no help." And Solibhai said, "Look, when something serious is going to happen, that means some grave karma is fructifying. So some great lesson is to be learned. Now if you have to, as a master, I can do something for you. One option is that I take that karma upon myself. So I get my bones broken, I suffer. But how does that help you? You will not learn any lesson. You will do the same thing which you did earlier. And that is not what a guru is for. So he said, if you have to learn a serious lesson, even becoming disabled for life, it is the best time that it happens now because I am with you. So even if you have become wheelchair bound due to a serious accident, if you are with me, I will raise your frequency and vibration, your awareness to such high levels that you will be disabled in the body, but you will not be disabled in the spirit. It will just pass. And Solibai just told me this about this conversation, and a lot of cobwebs in the mind got cleared immediately. What should we be asking for? We should not be asking for that, please take away my karma. No, we should say, okay, whatever has happened, what is the lesson in it for me? Let me learn the lesson and move on. And rest assured that if we learn the lesson, the matter is over. And if we rise in awareness very high, that even the physical suffering or the physical torture or anything which is coming through that karma, that can be avoided completely. So anything can happen through this healing that you are doing, through the forgiveness practice that you are doing. You can just erase the karma and escape the all the consequences of the karma completely. There is no escape. Because you have risen in awareness, you will become a beacon of light that will serve so many other souls. Their lives will change. So you are benefiting the cause of humanity. So your existence will think. Let the karma rest. You have risen above your karma. And even if that karma fructifies and the suffering happens, you will get the understanding. And the understanding will be so high that nothing is going to touch you. After all, where is the pain? Where is the suffering? It is a matter of the body and the mind. If you are in pure awareness, if you rise above the body and the mind, all suffering is bypassed. Nothing happens. So I think there is a lot of food for thought for everybody in all this. Just contemplate. And mere contemplation will give you freedom from the clutches of karma. So I've taken a lot of time, but it may have been worth it. If you feel that the time is wasted, let me know. I will give you an extra session. But it is important sometimes because we get into the healing session per se, and the modality of healing takes the center stage. This understanding part remains to be discussed. Again, I am reminded of Solibhai. One day he told me, where is suffering? He said, suffering is in the body and the mind. He said, suppose I encountered somebody who is very violent, he is on a murdering spree, and he takes a spear and he starts, digging into my body. He was talking in the context of suffering which is shown on the face of Jesus Christ by the Christians. So I had asked him this question, that It is said that Christ was made to carry the cross, and while he was carrying the cross, he looked at the heavens and said, "My Lord, they know not what they do." So I asked him, why did Christ have to say this, that they know not what they do? Or was he referring to the ignorance of these people who had decided to convict him and had put him on the cross? Then Solibai said, do you really want to know whether Jesus Christ said this? I said, yes. So it was in his drawing room, just the two of us were sitting, and he closed his eyes. And it was as if I was in a very thick zone of energy. Everything was vibrating. And after about half a minute or so, he opened his eyes, he smiled, and he said, Christ never said those words. He said his crucifixion was something that Christ himself had organized because he wanted to give a message to mankind. And then he said that where is suffering? Suffering is in the body and the mind. He said, you can put me on a cross, you can put hundreds of nails in my body and fix me to a cross. I will not feel any pain because I will just draw my awareness inside. There are various levels of awareness, various sheaths in the body. I will draw my awareness which is beyond, to a point which is beyond the body and the mind. So you can do whatever you want to my body. I will not feel pain. I will only be smiling. And he said all these pictures of Jesus Christ where he is seen suffering, these are hoax. Christ never suffered. And he never told God that, look, they do not know what they did. He said, when you asked this question, I went back into time. I witnessed the whole thing and I came back. So he said, for you, time is linear. For me, time is a space where past, present, and future, everything coexists, and I can access anything. So these were some of the very powerful moments with a great master. I was fortunate to be present at. So I thought maybe it's a good time to share this. Previously, I had thought that I will just type things out, write a written reply. But this morning, as I was going to start the session, this idea came. It is better to talk. The communication is better, even though I might miss something or the other. So, too much of talking today. Let us get into the healing session. And I will try to give you some extra 10 minutes or so. If somebody has to leave, they can leave. It is fine. So as I said, that one has to be in an attitude of forgiveness. So just be in an attitude of forgiveness. We will not do the forgiveness practice that we normally do. And become aware of all the souls on this planet, in nature, in the angelic realm, in the divine realm, and in the universe. Not just this universe, but all the universes, because many of us have spent lifetimes out of this planet at various levels of existence. So become aware of all the souls and mentally seek forgiveness from every soul that you may have caused some affront or hurt or harm, and forgive every soul that may have caused hurt or harm to you. Give your love and gratitude to your body, your senses, your mind, every cell of your body is performing so many functions without fail. Some 3 lakh chemical reactions are happening in this body just now. And these cells are living in harmony with each other. Every body, or in our own bodies that we have, each body has an average of 60-70 trillion cells. This number is more than the population of this world. So we have so much to be grateful for. But the mind takes us to those areas of life where we think we are having some lack, and it makes us miserable. So it is time to shift the focus of the mind to things that we have to be grateful for. It is also the time to shift focus of the mind to take greater responsibility in taking lessons so that we do not repeat those mistakes or those actions which invite karma. And becoming karma free is to find the state of enlightenment where one lives in the awareness that one is pure consciousness. There is no doer then. It's all a play where one is participating through the roles he is playing or she is playing in this world. So each role is played to perfection, but there is no doer thereof. And karma does not apply. So take a few moments to watch your breath. Feel the breath as it comes in. And feel the breath as it comes out. Let there be no pressure, no hurry, no intention. The breath is happening on its own. You are simply the witness. So feel how the breath makes an inroad into your body gently, expanding the chest. Be aware as the in-breath causes the abdomen to move forward a little. And be aware of the breath when it decides to move out of the body, allowing the abdomen and the chest to fall in place. Let the process of breath happen on its own. You are not the doer. You are the witness who is simply watching the breath happen. Be the witness to your breath. Now let your awareness be refined further. Notice that the breath, when it comes into the body, there comes a time when it loses all its momentum. And it dissolves into nothingness. So there is a point where the breath is getting terminated. Become aware of that point. And it is also the point from where the out-breath starts. But you can feel the out-breath only when it has started and it has started moving back. At that point, there is no movement. Visualize a flame of light at this point. Because there is no movement of any kind at this place, the flame remains steady. It does not move. So be absorbed in this flame. It is the flame of awareness. And this awareness is you. Just pure light, pure energy. As long as you stay in this awareness, you can experience freedom, because no karma reaches this flame. You are free. You are taintless. You are pure. You are full of warmth. You are full of love. You are pure energy. You are Shiva. The great Shankaracharya had sung. He was a child and somebody asked him, "Who are you?" And he sang, "Mano buddhi hankar चित्तानि नाहम् न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. In essence, it meant, I am not my mind. I am not my intellect. I am not my ego. I am not my memory. All these things are acquired impressions, which are not my real nature. I am not my senses. The sense of hearing, the sense of taste, the sense of sight and touch, the sense of smell. These are the instruments that work at my command. I am not the five elements through which this body and this universe is made. So I am not the space or ether. I am not the element of air, the element of fire, the element of water, or the element of earth. I am pure awareness, whose nature is bliss and freedom. So rest in the pure awareness of being. The flame of awareness you find in the center of your heart, steady, full of warmth, light, and love. In this light you can see you are not your karma. You are the pure awareness. And in that state of awareness, as you hear some of the sounds that are being played, look for the source of the sound. So when a sound is heard, try to figure out where this sound is coming from. It must be vibrating somewhere within your body or your own consciousness. And when the sound has played its course and it dissolves into silence, figure out where it has gone. So as you watch, the source of the sound and the ultimate destination of the sound, you are leaving all karma behind. You are becoming free. As you follow the journey from sound to silence, bring your awareness to the center of your being, to the steady flame in the heart. Make a silent prayer to this flame that you become more and more aware of it. Not only through this intensive, this will end when it ends, but also from time to time and then continually. In this flame, surrender all notions of karma. Nothing will bind you. Keep the state of silence and inner absorption for as long as you can. And allow me to end this session with a short prayer. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti